Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of 8th Grade. Got my little shirt from the screening tonight. Also got this really cute little hall pass. But 8th Grade is one of the indie darlings of 2018. A film I have heard nothing but the highest of praises about. And to be honest, it all made me a little bit nervous going into this screening. I had to do my best to block all hype out going into this movie because I really didn't want to be let down. I didn't want to go in expecting the best movie of the year and not liking it. And good news, I really liked it. This was a very, very good movie. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I think that our lead actress, I can't really pronounce her name, but Kayla in the film was fantastic. I really felt she gave such an honest, genuine, believable, real performance. I thought I was just watching someone. It almost felt like a documentary, really, watching her go through the motions of this film. It was so natural, and it was such a moving, really strong performance from such a young performer. But I do think all of our performances were really strong here. All of the actors and actresses did a very nice job in creating something very authentic all the way around. No matter where we were or who we were focusing on, it all did feel very genuine. Part of that is definitely the script. This is certainly one of the best scripts we have seen so far this year. The writing was just so fantastic. It never overstepped, it never went into overwriting. And I think a lot of times with these indie, like coming of age type films, we can get scripts that just try to do too much with it and try to really go like a tour. And this just stayed perfectly authentic. And it all just came together for a really unique, moving theatrical experience. I was genuinely moved by the end of this film. And I genuinely cared about our main character, Kayla. I cared about her well being. I cared about her and her journey. And I think that's a big testament to the film in and of itself. You are fully invested in this story. As small as it may be, as singular in focus as this particular film may be, you're fully invested in Kayla. Part of that, I think, is because I personally was like, oh, I really relate with Kayla. Even in my 20s, I'm like, oh my, am I just stunted in growth because I relate to this 8th grade girl? I don't know what this says about me, but I definitely related to the character, both past and present, honestly. And it made me invested. I also think it did a great job with the parental-daughter relationship. I do think Bo Burnham did a very nice job directing. Some of the camera work and some of the angles did feel a little bit indie, if you will. But overall, I think the direction was beautiful. The movie was really well shot. There was character, there was dynamic with the directing style that I think sets it apart from other films of the like. And I have to say, I think this film really understood and empathized with so many of the struggles of being part of today's youth that maybe others just kind of flat out judge regarding social media, regarding the social status, regarding just being a youth in school today as part of that social structure and what that all means. And I think that Bo Burnham did a fantastic job of empathizing with that group and depicting that without judging that. And I thought it was really actually very well handled. I also really loved how the students as a whole were depicted, how you were able to see pretty much through their lens, which I thought was beautifully done, the intimidation of these kids while they're doing completely outrageous, ridiculous things. I mean, when you're in 8th grade, you do a lot of weird things that are seen as cool or just looked over, but it's so intimidating to other 8th graders and other kids of your age, and I thought that was so well done, and it was done well throughout the entirety of the film. I also thought it was something powerful that felt more genuine in the context of what was happening. that we touched on school shootings. And again, it harkens back to what do the youth of today have to deal with that maybe others of past times didn't have to go through. And touching on school shootings and that being a commonplace drill, I thought was actually a very powerful and harrowing image for the film to show, but I thought it did it very well. So for negatives regarding 8th grade, I'm going to say that I think my biggest negative overall was anything to do with sexually related content. I actually think all of the sexually related stuff could have been taken out of the movie. Whether it was her interaction with her crush and then what she goes home and does and like looks up. I sat there thinking, this is an adult male director speaking about female sexuality awakening of some sort and like the pressures of young girls in that sexual environment or with their crushes or whatever the case may be. I do think it comes from a place of just feeling that social pressure, but I have to admit I was a little bit uncomfortable with the knowledge it was directed by an adult male trying to tell the story of an 8th grade girl trying to figure out her sexual identity. And then there's an event that happens with another boy a little bit later in the film, hanging out with high schoolers, you'll know it when you see it, that I thought was completely unnecessary and added in to give, I don't know, a more dramatic heft to the film, give a little bit more weight to the film. But ultimately, I think it wasn't needed. I actually think it took the film into a larger scale in actual message and weight and experience than it needed to be. The film was beautiful as a singular story about everyday, average, awkward growing up experience. So to add in a much more serious event, it took me out of it a bit, and I think it really was a disservice to the film as a whole. I also think the like 2 popular girls in this film were so like cut and dry, stereotypical popular girls. That was also a bit of a detraction for me personally. My only other negative really is that I think our main character goes through a lot of growth for a week's time. Of course, this is adolescence. You're growing, you're having fallbacks, you're like bouncing around in your whole learning and growing up stages. But I think the last speech she gives still had that youthfulness to it, of course. But I think she really gets insightful by the end of the film. And it was a very rapid growth from where she started to where she finishes, all within the span of 1 week. So on that front, I think it was a little bit fast forwarded for the film's purpose. But overall, I thought 8th grade was a fantastic film. I'm not going to say this is a coming of age film, because I don't think you actually can come of age in 8th grade. To come of age, you kind of reach a good place by the end, I think, and that should be reserved for a little older. I don't think you should hit the point of coming of age in 8th grade. I think this is a great film, a relatable film that just speaks on growing up and the awkwardness of youth and how that experience is. It's rated R, but I don't think it actually warrants that R rating. I think this is perfectly acceptable to see with your 8th graders and to see as a family, to have discussions about, because it does go into some deeper topics. So you'll have to definitely watch it with them and then talk to them about it, have a conversation and have a dialogue. This is a great film that I think has mass appeal as well as that indie cred. So no matter where you fall in on that spectrum, I think this is a full price ticket. It's definitely one to seek out. So that is my review of 8th grade. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see 8th grade? And what is your favorite film set in middle school? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!